All right, what is up, everybody? Thank you for joining us on this Friday night, the night or the day after April Fool's Day. I'm glad we missed April Fool's Day. Anyway, we've got SmackDown, we've got NXT, we've got Titus O'Neil, Jericho, to be interviewed by Steve Austin, William Shatner, night one of TakeOver, no commercial breaks, all that and more coming up with Smark and Boxman. Welcome to the Dirt Sheet Dudes.
Chance you have no chance. If you had a chance, if you could run lickety split, but you can't run because you're a badass. Well, Ric Flair, you know what? I'm not a normal looking athlete myself. You know what I'm talking about? I've been in the years of line. It's a privilege and an honor to walk out with Ole Anderson, Lex Luger, and the Armlet of all night.
I am not a happy camper. What is Bully Ray's motivation? You know I love you. I know he loves sugar. But I check my pocket. I don't have no donuts. I don't have no cheeseburger. I know you love sugar, but I ain't got none.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man. And I'm saying, woo, right here. In Nashville, Tennessee, pal, I'm the man.
Booking a match for the total package like Luger and Super Brawl? Super Saturday? What is it? I don't even know what it's called. What is it called?
Super Brawl Saturday.
Super Brawl Saturday?
You don't lose faith in winners. And Ric Flair, day in and day out, every day of his life, just keeps winning and winning and winning.
Ric Flair! New York City, Ric Flair! You're gonna find out what hard is all about! I do exactly what I want to do. You say I'm insane, I say thank you very much!
Make a good luchas.
I hate that! Hit the deck! Yes! We love you, Scott Steiner!
Today, woo, I've got the style and profile like never before.
You guys talk about being students of the game. I am the game, JR.
About to blow my goddamn eardrums out. What is going on, everybody? How is it going? Friday, finally, goddamn Friday. Hope everybody's doing well. Smark, how are you doing over there, sir?
I am just plain wonderful. How are you today, sir?
Oh, doing great today. Doing good. I was supposed to not work, but that didn't work out like I thought it would. Just didn't work out the way I thought it would, but anyway, it wasn't a bad day. I just did a few deliveries and made a little extra money. So, hey, can't bitch about that, right?
That's never a bad thing.
No, not at all. And I'm going to charge him for the goddamn labor today, too. Holy fuck, man. 50 fucking rolls and 24 boxes of mailers. Yeah, not a good time. Not a good time. Lots of lifting. And a lot of weight in my van. Holy shit, I was low riding. Thought I was going to pop wheelies in that motherfucker.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot of weight. My van was very low. I had to go put air in one of my tires after I was done. I'm like, shit. So that was not very fun of a time, but I got it. We got it done. And like I said, I made a little extra money. Can't bitch about that. Anyway, I guess we can go ahead and knock plugs out real fast, and then we'll go ahead and get into it. Might not be the longest show we do. There is not a lot of news really tonight. So we'll go ahead, though, and give me 1 second. I'll get some music revved up here for the plugs, and I will kick them off with the usual high marks, Cheeseman Mojo and G-Wiz. Y'all know where to check them out right there. Mixler.com/Metal Mitt Network. That's right. There's 2 T's in Mitt when you type that. Mixler.com/Metal Mitt Network, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Sundays. And, of course, you got Bobby Anthony and Bobby Blades. You know where to find them. All those podcast platforms you go to, they are there. Check out the Inhuman Experience with Bobby Anthony and Bobby Blades. And, of course, the Everything Unscripted Wrestling podcast. You want to be checking out those guys, too. Right there. You can check them out on all the usual podcast platforms and Blog Talk Radio. And I appreciate you sharing this show, Stephen Milan. Check him out over there reviewing films and on Letterboxd, boxd.com/Stephen Milan. And, of course, you got 2 L's in Milan. And you can always find us on Spotify, Google, Stitcher, YouTube, Anchor, Player FM, anywhere you find good podcasts. Go, Smart. Go, go, go.
Yes, that has a sense of urgency that I was not prepared for. Okay, I'll go ahead and talk faster. No, anyways. Mondays, 8:30 on the Minute Podcast Network on the Mixler device. Be sure to check out the Cheese on Sports, the Cheese Man, and the Cheese Master. And Sundays, 10:30 on the Metal Podcast Network as well. Be sure to check out the Motor City Machine Guns. But that's not all. It's never all. What you also need to do as you mute yourself to cough into the microphone is check out our friends, audio broadcasting professional at Planet Rack on Tour. That's the Planet Rack on Tour podcast with Bobby Anthem, Papa Sincere, and Yuck Nasty. All 16 episodes are available for your listening pleasure, as well as season 2 coming soon. Be sure to check it out.
There you go. All right. So we knocked that out. Yeah, man, you never ruin my plugs. I'm not going to ruin yours if I can help it. So that's just kind of the way I work, man. You know, it's just the way it goes. So there we go on that shit right there. And let's see. What is Sacha Baron Corbin bringing? Hopefully we can talk about this picture in great detail.
I don't know about great detail, but I think we could talk about it a little bit.
I mean, it's happening. It's happening. Drew McIntyre versus King Corbin. We heard the little promo from Corbin tonight. I guess we're getting into SmackDown first. Let's just do that. Fuck it. Sure. But they are having a match on Raw coming up Monday. And that's about all the detail I want to give. Anything you want to say, Smark, that, I mean, such detail to a match like this, such
hard-hitting and in-depth analysis. I don't know if I can necessarily provide that, but he did sort of touch on that in his promo on SmackDown, that it's time for King Corbin. King Corbin was saying that it was his time. He was going to go ahead and capitalize and collect on the bounty. He mentioned that he had like a $45,000 watch on, so that was interesting, I suppose.
He mentioned a Patek Philippe.
Yeah. I don't know what that is.
You know, have you ever watched, I know you have, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You know the beginning scene when he looks at his watch?
Mm-hmm.
That is a Patek Philippe. They usually have the lines on the bottom. You know, I mean, Rolex has their little things, you know, the sweeping, sweeping, not ticking, second hand. And, but Patek Philippe usually has some lines in the back, and they just have different, really nice watches, though. My dad had one a very long time ago. They weren't that much, that long ago.
See, I don't know, like, I've never really been a big watch person. It's never really been something that's been big in my family. Like, even my grandfather, who obviously would be more of a watch person than somebody of my generation, like, he always just gets, like, the $5-10 ones that you'll get at the store that, like, glow in the dark and light up and shit.
See,
but he does a lot of physical labor, so, like, he'll have his brake on him or he'll drop him, so he just gets, like, fucking, ones that he can easily replace.
See, here's the thing. I love watches. I hate wearing watches.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like extra, like, I'm just not that kind of person. Like, I don't like rings or necklaces or just any extra shit because I'll inevitably forget it somewhere. It's just not good.
I don't know why, but during the show, I take my ring off fucking 25 times. I don't have it on right now. It's over here on the little mat here, but I don't know. I'm not a jewelry person. If I'm doing hard labor, I have a silicone ring that I put on, which is actually very comfortable. It's light. You don't even know it's there. But I'm not really a jewelry person. Don't like wearing watches, but love watches, love clocks, hang those everywhere. But just don't like wearing watches or jewelry or nothing. Had an earring for years. That was it.
Yeah, that'd be a little bit different, but yeah, I'm not really one for extra accents or whatever you want to put it.
Yeah, I had many earrings, many. But that was about it. So yeah, that's happening. That match is happening. And yes, you did mention the watch. And yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and just run into SmackDown now at that point. Now, I did miss the first 5 minutes. Now, when I got to the show, Edge was walking in the ring. Did I miss anything? But I'm thinking I probably missed like a pre-video or something, right?
Exactly it. You missed a recap of what happened last week.
Okay, so I didn't miss anything. My friggin' stream was acting up, getting started. And then once it started, it never locked up once. I was like, fucking piece of shit. But, yeah, it just started not locking up after that. I don't know. It was fine, though, right after. Just didn't want to start the show.
Interesting. Yeah, but you didn't miss anything. It was just the normal SmackDown fare of starting the show with like a 5-minute recap.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really want to start the show either, so. I think my stream was reading my mind.
Yeah, I was a little bit apprehensive tonight, too. I don't know. I didn't have the gusto that I normally have on Friday nights.
I know 30 minutes into this show, I went, 30 minutes? I thought it was an hour. So if that tells you anything.
Interesting, because I feel like the first 30 minutes or so was probably the best, and then it was all just downhill from there. So
a little bit. I like the main event. Main event was good. Main event was very good, actually. I really enjoyed the main event. So, but yeah. So there's just a little bit. There we go. I can hear you a little better now, probably. All right, let's get into this. Like I said, Edge was walking into the ring, talking about how things at Fastlane didn't need to be that destructive. Called Daniel Bryan roadkill. That was mean.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. But he says he likes who he sees in the mirror now, and he sees the rated R superstar. This is going to go over so well with Fox, the rated R company. It's weird to just have him do this gimmick like in the heart of the barely PG era, the fucking G era, right? Basically of fucking wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're getting at, but I think with them being on like Friday nights,
yeah,
like they're kind of allowed to be a little bit more flexible with that than they would be, maybe if they were on, USA, like on Raws.
Maybe, but I don't know. I guess we'll have to. I don't know. We'll see where it goes, but right now we got the heel in Edge, and he's bitching more about the triple threat match, and it's just that was pretty much it. It really just Edge kind of walked out of the ring, and they were like, "All right, we're gonna go to commercial and come back to a match," and we did. Gable and Otis standing in the ring. Gable's putting over Otis in the Alpha Academy. Weird to see Otis being a heel, but looks like they are because they were working with Ziggler and Rude. It was Ziggler, Rude, Gable, and Otis versus Dominic and his dad and the Street Profits.
Right. And even that, though, I would say probably that's not going to last for too long because I feel like they're already starting to plant the seeds. Because I mentioned in commentary how some people believe that Gable is, quote, brainwashing Otis. So it's going to be like kind of the idea that Otis is just the simpleton that's being manipulated. Yeah,
and I mean, that's been kind of the whole storyline the whole way, but I don't know. It's still good shit. I still like it. I'm still enjoying it. So
I like them as a team too. Yeah,
they're like they're not really like it's almost a little bit Drake Maverick, Killian Dane, but it's not that bad of a dynamic.
Right. Yeah, I kind of get what you're getting at.
Yeah, just a little bit. It's more that kind of opposites, team. But one thing I did notice about this match is I've noticed Jessica Carr refereeing a lot more matches lately on SmackDown. Big E has her out there almost every time he's wrestling. This match she was in, I just see her out there a lot more lately. It was just something that caught my eyes. I see her out there about 2 matches a night.
That's interesting. Like, I can't really comment too much outside of that because they have done such a good job of just making me not pay attention to referees in that particular company because they downplay them to such a significant degree.
Very true. Very true. They do. But she's just, they don't have very many women referees. They've got her and the one in NXT.
That's right, yeah.
I forget her name.
I do too, but I know the one that you're talking about.
Yeah, her name slipped my mind, but I know she's over there, and they got 2. That's pretty much it. So, but anyway, we're gonna run through SmackDown pretty quick here. There's not really a lot of. You'll see. Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville. Good. Had it been a while since we've seen Sonya, or was it just me? It felt like it's been a week or 2.
Yeah, her role, they don't really put her in a very significant role anyway, so it's not. She can have a tendency to kind of blend into the backdrop anyway, but I think they're trying to make her the more competent of the 2.
All right, I'll go with that. That'll work. And she's the one, obviously, Paul Heyman likes better. Obviously, I don't blame him. But anyway, they're back there, and Heyman does walk in, and he says Roman wants a what were they calling it? I forgot what they were even calling it.
Oh God. Hold harmless agreement or something?
Held harmless agreement. That's what it was. I didn't even know what the hell they were calling. Every time I tried to type it, I was like, man, I shouldn't have smoked that bowl. I forgot already.
Were you also going to look it up to see if it was a real thing? Because I was tempted to.
No, it is.
There you go.
It's something companies use when they're doing like stupid shit. I guarantee everyone on those celebrity boxing shows signed something like that so the company wouldn't get sued. And basically Paul was saying he wants that because the street fight with Jey Uso could change the landscape of WrestleMania. He doesn't want anyone held accountable. And Pierce was like, no. Sonya's like, hey, it's a good idea. And Paul got this smile on his face. Now, they never showed anything, so I don't know. That would be something a lawyer would have to draw up, dude. So,
right.
I'm not sure. I know WWE's got one on retainer, but I'm not sure how quick he could whip up a held harmless agreement or whatever they were calling it.
They had fucking Darren Young, or not Darren Young, David Otunga, feverishly at work in the back.
Quick, go to catering. Aja Smith. Thank you, Sasha Baron Corbin. That's the name of the ref in NXT.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah. Quick, run to catering. Look for David Otunga.
He's always around somewhere.
I guess he still works there, right? As far as I know, he does.
Probably. He's one of those weird people that, like, they have a bunch of people that you don't know that they're not working there until just suddenly they post something on, like, Twitter or something that's like, yeah, I've been gone from that company for, like, 2 years now. It's like, all right, well, no one fucking told us.
Hey, glad you're doing well. Hey, whatever. All right, so after all that, which, again, it was just kind of funny that they never showed it again. We get Rollins out there. Another suit I like. I wouldn't.
It was very Easter themed. It was very appropriate for this weekend.
Yeah, it was. Now, I wouldn't wear it, but I like it. See, different.
I wouldn't wear it, but I wouldn't be able to pull it off.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I'd never be able to pull it off. So I wouldn't even bother wearing it. Now, the suit Cesaro has on, I have one of those. Everyone's got a pinstripe blue or black suit. Everyone. It's just kind of out there. You need one. At least one.
Right. Of course, yes.
Yeah, so we got, Corey Graves in there with his crazy shit on. Corey Graves has another nice little part coming up a little bit down the road in this show. We'll get to that. But I did like this little thing. Corey Graves kind of made it a little interview thing with the guys. Starts out with Cesaro. He sang us a swinging song.
He did.
He did. I don't remember the words, and I wasn't going to write them down. But
I think he literally just said "swing is in the air," but in song.
It was something like that. You're right. Swing is in the air. Something like that. But yeah, it was good stuff from Cesaro there. Then he goes to Seth. Corey Graves does, and Seth says he's unshakable because it's WrestleMania season. That's why he's unshakable.
Mm-hmm.
Then he starts comparing all his moments to like legendary moments, like, you know, Andre and, you know, Andre being slammed by Hogan and shit like that. And
Mega Powers breaking up.
yeah, shit like that, man.
Got that one in there, yeah.
Yep. And then Corey asks us, all right, you think you can beat Seth Rollins at Mania? And I'm sitting there going, what kind of fucking a question is that? The fuck is he supposed to say?
Like, I'll try my level best.
Yeah. And then Seth says he's unshakable again. And Cesaro says, yeah, but you're not unswingable, which gets Seth pissed off or shaken, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Start flies off the handle, starts screaming and like thrashing around. It's very interesting. It's sort of old school storytelling, and they don't do this very often where they build a feud based on one move. And it's like it's particularly interesting because it's not even a finisher. It's
even more interesting that it's Cesaro.
True, yes.
I mean, there's a lot to this that's just like, wow, you guys are really, and it looks like they may put Cesaro over. I mean, it's not for any titles or anything. Why wouldn't they?
Perhaps, yeah. I liked it. Like, I think of the feuds that they were building on this show, they did the best job with it. I like Cesaro being one that's kind of cool and calm and collected and just sort of making a bunch of like kind of silly puns about swinging him around and this kind of shit. And then you just have Seth that's claiming to be totally under control, but he's like very visibly just angry and like throwing a fit, and it was good stuff.
Yeah, can't really control his temper. Thinks he's unshakable, but he's not. Good stuff here. And listen, if we get a good run for Cesaro out of this, I'm down with it. Right now, I mean, he's had a lot of TV time lately, so I don't know. Maybe someone just said, you know, Cesaro's been a real fucking trooper. Real fucking trooper. Maybe it's time.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just see what he can do. I mean, Jesus Christ, he had that Cesaro section when there was a crowd. I know they were handing that shit out, but you still got to want it and hold it up.
Right. Well, yeah, you could just as easily they give it to you and you fucking throw it on the floor.
Yeah, you fucking drop it on the floor and don't even take it, pass them back. It's still, man, it's still shit that goes on. But
well, yeah, and I mean, they do that from time to time. I remember them just off the top of my head doing that with Bayley and doing that with Becky Lynch. That's what I was looking for.
Right. Now, after that, I got a commercial now. The commercial I got, though, was Big E in a Snickers commercial. I got that a couple of times on this show. You too?
Yes, I did. Yeah, where he's trying to find the like sort of a Spinal Tap moment. He's trying to find the ring.
The ring.
He's getting sidetracked and distracted and lost and whatnot.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad to see Big E getting a little bit of steam out there, getting going. Yeah. Love seeing shit like this. So good for him. I'm glad you got the same one. I was watching out of New York. I could tell by the commercials.
I may have been too. I saw a lot of. That's not that has anything to do with New York, but I also saw shit on the Wendy's commercial.
I didn't see many Wendy's commercials. Maybe we're on this different New York station, but I know I was on a New York station because it had very, very many local commercials for New York, places I've never heard of here. And I looked one of them up.
You can count on WKZT Channel 12 News.
No, it was a restaurant. No, it was a grocery store, ShopRite. Ain't got no ShopRites here, man.
I don't know if we have those. Like, I've definitely heard of ShopRite.
No, we got a couple of Rite Aids here and there, but no ShopRites I've ever seen here. Never.
It seems like a lot of the southern-based grocery stores, or at least the ones that like I had, pretty much died. Like there was like Winn-Dixie, and there's
one of my high school jobs.
Store.
One of my high school jobs was Winn-Dixie.
Mm-hmm.
Winn-Dixie had Piggly Wigglies. Remember those?
Yeah, Piggly Wiggly. What else was there?
A&W's. A&P. That was, there was one. Not A&W, A&P.
Well, even those, though, those A&W restaurants, I haven't seen any of those lately.
We've got one here, locally.
Used to. I don't know what happened to it.
Got one here. Pretty good stuff. The kids love their root beer and shit like that. So we stop by every now and then. Got those. We had what was the name? In North Carolina when I was really young. Harris Teeter. That was one of the grocery stores down there we had too.
Well, here's one I'll throw at you since we're talking about like more smaller and local. I know that you spent quite a bit of time in Texas. Or actually, you're in Texas now. I don't know what I'm thinking. You live in Texas, so yeah, you do spend quite a lot of time there, huh?
Yeah,
are you
a little bit.
You a Buc-ee's guy?
If we pass them, they're like truck stops. They're like few and far between. But right. I've actually never been to one. Now, there is a place we meet my wife's dad at that is a truck stop. And they have like mountains of beef jerky.
Yes.
All kinds of jerky. Beef, bison, friggin' turkey jerky, venison jerky. You name a meat, they've got it. Buffalo jerky, they've got it. I do like going there. I like me some beef jerky, I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I tend to keep it on just the beef jerky, but there was also, they used to make like this like pepperoni jerky, and it was like fucking awesome.
Oh yeah. I've seen. I get that. I mean, shit. Last night I went to get beer, and I came back with 3 Slim Jims for me and the boys.
There you go.
Oh, gotta love disgusting tubed chemical filled meat. I know what's in them. I don't give a shit. I eat hot dogs too. Although I do eat Hebrew National beef hot dogs. But anyway, I'll eat a hot dog when I'm out knowing it's not a beef hot dog. I don't give a shit. I'll eat what I eat. But yeah, big, love me some beef jerky. Now, anyway, I guess we get back to the show because I'm really wanting some beef jerky now, and I think we actually have some. So anyway.
Right on.
Ooh, sounds good. We get Naya out there. She's on commentary. Got Reginald standing behind her like she's the sugar mama. I think Reginald's the bottom bitch. Now, the match is Natalya with Tamina versus Shayna. And this was a quick match. Natalya just rolls up Shayna, wins the match. Nia runs in, knocks down Natalya. Tamina jumps in. Shayna starts fighting everybody. Ruby Riott comes down with Liv Morgan. Then Mandy and Dana. Then Naomi and Lana. And the last 2 standing, though, are Tamina and Natalya.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So this just turned out to be a clusterfuck, but it was pretty shocking to see Shayna lose quickly like that. Very quickly, like within a minute and a half, I think.
Yeah, well, no, it was definitely like that because it started off like the bell rang and like Corey was in the process of setting up some kind of question for Nia, and he didn't even get the opportunity to finish the question. So it's like they were starting to try to build on, the storylines that they've been going through. But it's weird because I feel like she's being punished at this point. Because we talked about she lost like 2 weeks ago to Asuka. She lost to Naomi on Raw, and then she lost like immediately to the tap. So it seems like she's like being punished for injuring Asuka, which is weird if you consider the fact that Nia injures somebody like every 3 matches or so. Yeah. And she never gets punished for it. So
no one says a word to her. They're like, "Oh, you're so good. Tell your cousin hi."
Mm-hmm.
Hey, tell him WrestleMania is coming up. Don't know if he remembers. Can you just maybe text him? Maybe text him. Yeah. Thanks.
SBC's here is saying, SBC is saying by comparison, like she's Shayna the Scrub. So last year she beat 5 women in the chamber.
Yeah, now she's getting rolled up by Natalya. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Like they say, you're getting TV time. You're getting TV time.
That's true.
So, all right. So we get Sammy out there after this match, and he's waiting for Logan Paul. I keep wanting to call him Paul Logan, but it's just weird to me, the Logan Paul, 2 first names put together. Sammy's out there on his own little red carpet, and now Logan does show up. Logan Paul, he does show up, and we are about to get the premiere of Sami Zayn's documentary, which we found out the name was Justice for Sammy.
That's right. It's tags now.
Yeah. And I did like Sammy's jacket. Nice little gold lame jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Elvis wore something similar to that, except he had the gold lame pants with the jacket. But anyway. Introduces Logan Paul. Sammy's dancing his ass off. I mean, dancing his ass off backstage or in the ring. Funny as hell. Sammy gives him a big hug. He thanks Logan for being there with the oppressed, he called himself. And then Sammy invited Logan Paul to be his guest at WrestleMania Smark.
Mm-hmm.
And he accepted, of course.
Yes.
Not sure. I think Sammy might uninvite him next week. We'll see what happens there.
It would have been great if he actually legitimately did this on the spot, and Logan Paul was just like, "Yeah, I got some stuff. I'll get back to you."
Yeah, they didn't talk to me about that. Am I getting paid? Oh, we're live? Oh shit. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Sammy does introduce a documentary, and I got to tell you, it was actually pretty cool. It just kind of went over all the things he's been doing. Basically, it went over this whole storyline, and it was kind of cool to see, but he was mixing it in with like UFOs and space and lasers and, HARP and all kinds of the real conspiracy theories out there, which, again, like we said the other night, they used to be fun.
Yes, they used to be fun.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about that. I was like, man, Jesse Ventura just kind of seems like a normal guy at this point. Like a little bit eccentric, but like compared to all the shit that's been going on nowadays, it's like,
yeah. I mean, when you're Jesse, I guess it's just it's just Jesse Ventura. He's an old crazy fuddy-duddy.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Let's see. I guess there's a little video from Logan Paul here that Sacha Baron Corbin just posted. I haven't heard it, but I'll play it. This could be good or very bad. Let's see what happens here. You ready?
Sure.
All right. It's Logan Paul, and I guess he's thanking WWE. I don't know. Let's see.
Coolest birthday gift by far. WWE got us a jet. They're flying me and the boys to Tampa on a real thick G550. We're going to check out Sami Zayn's documentary on the red carpet. Should be interesting. Let's go.
So they got him a jet. That's very nice of WWE. The usual reactions from people on Twitter here. Ranging from racism to nice jet. I mean, really, it is. The first reply here is the clear racism from WWE after breaking up the Hurt business. I don't see what this has to do with that, but anyway, there's that. But then they're like, yeah, hey, nice jet, and it is a very nice jet actually. And you know what? Who knows if WWE actually got it for him? These guys are known just YouTube liars. So I don't even know. I don't even know if I believe him. It's probably his jet. He's like a YouTube millionaire, right?
Okay, actually, and I'm seeing the tweet that you're talking about here, and it's wild.
Oh, it's right here in the chat room.
Yeah, well, it goes on. It says the clear racism from WWE. This is from Mad G27.
That's the one I was looking at. It's the first one you see.
Let's give him credit. We'll have him on the show next week. He says the clear racism from WWE and breaking up a united black faction hurt business. Also a clear sign of just who WWE values. Didn't WWE also digitally give a Samoan man Reigns, who he misspells? It's Reighns. That's not how he spells that.
No.
A Puerto Rican man, Rollins, blue eyes. I was unaware of any of this happening.
Given to him, they were working together. What?
So apparently they're digitally...
Wait a minute.
This gentleman, they are digitally editing people's features to make them appear more Caucasian.
What?
This is... We're getting into some real fucking conspiracy theory business now, boys.
Did Jesse Ventura get his Twitter hacked again? or is Jesse hacking this guy's Twitter? Man, I don't even want to get into it.
I don't really think there's much of anything to get into. That's just some wild shit that, like, this just goes to show why you don't read Twitter comments.
Absolute toxicity out of so. Anyway, let's just keep going.
Yes, sure.
Like I said, I actually thought the documentary was kind of pretty cool, and like Logan Paul said, it looked like he put a lot of effort, which we know he didn't, but. It was a pretty cool little thing, and I'm not sure what they're going to do with it. I actually wouldn't mind. I wouldn't doubt if they actually tried selling it, like for real.
Mm-hmm.
WWE not take a fucking opportunity to make a little extra money.
Well, not only that, but like content for the network / Peacock. It was like you could put out like a 20-minute, 30-minute, like kind of a mockumentary with him. Like it'd be good.
And I mean, technically, it would be an actual documentary because I mean, everything he's done is documented and it's there. And I think it would be pretty cool to do, though.
Yeah.
I think they will. I almost bet they will. And I guess I need to sign up for Peacock, don't I?
That depends on who you ask.
Can you?
The jury's still out on that one.
Can you watch on a computer?
Yeah, you'll be able to watch on a computer.
All right, because I know they don't have a Fire Stick app.
Huh. I did not know that.
I guess there's a way to side load it on there, which I'm not sure I like that word. I think I'll just get it on the computer and maybe just do what I can. I don't know. I'll figure out a way to do it. But I know I got to watch everything. It becomes
a lot easier to access and whatnot the longer it's out.
Yeah, I guess it will. I'm just not sure why they wouldn't have a Fire Stick app, and I'm sure they're probably working on one. But anyway, like I said, that documentary was cool, though. Now, Logan Paul, after Sammy says, how was it? Kind of is like, man, it's a lot to take in. And he's like, Kevin Owens came to my locker room and told me there is no conspiracy, which gets Sammy ranting. And I got to tell you, man, it's weird to hear. I mean, him and Seth almost have the same gimmick.
A little bit. I can kind of see what you're going for. What I noticed about him is I am absolutely convinced that he purposely says the way that he says the word against on purpose. He says it like that as like a rib. Because I noticed he says against in a way that is very, very, and I know that he is, but it's very Canadian.
Against.
Against. And I'm like, I'm convinced he has to be doing that just to be a fucking dick, just to be a heel.
I think they don't let him say about for a reason either. All right, Sammy and Kevin Owens. Nowhere does the word about show up. Either way, a boot, no a boot.
Oh my god, that would be perfect if like they would never do it because people would still bitch even though it would be just an obvious joke. If when they had like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn like cutting their promos on each other, if they had like little fucking translations on the bottom.
and I could just hear, the hell are you talking about? A boot? A boot?
They have subtitles. Yeah, just for certain words. If they say about, it's a boot, and then it just has about and subtitles.
Oh, man. Yeah, that would be funny, though, because that would be something else for Sammy to bitch about the conspiracy.
Mm-hmm.
As Logan Paul is talking to Sammy here, Owens runs up behind him, stuns him, and Logan Paul just got to stand there awkwardly throughout this.
I actually felt a little bad for him because he had like, no idea what the fuck it was he was supposed to be doing. He would just like, I just saw him like just look up the ramp and then look back and then look up the ramp and then look back. Like he was clearly given no direction. He was just like, "I'm okay. What the fuck am I supposed to be doing here?"
He got the old go out there and have fun with a little slap on the ass. As he go out there and have fun, kid. Good for him. Good for him. I mean, he wasn't bad. I'm not going to complain. Oh, he sucked. He was, awkward. He stood there awkwardly. What do you do? What do you do when you're not a fucking wrestler and aren't kind of trained for shit like that? What do you do?
Sure, yeah. I mean, they didn't really talk all that much either. I thought it was a little bit funny that he was like trying to not hurt Sammy's feelings, but he could like tell that in character he didn't like it because he was like, "Well, you worked hard on it. That's something."
Yeah. Well, yeah. Which we know it was everyone else, but Anyway, good little segment there. Not horrible. I know everyone bringing a celebrity in. Leave it alone. WWE brings celebrities in all the time. Stop. Especially for WrestleMania time. Leave it alone. Back off. Calm down. Drink something. Eat something. Smoke something.
There you go.
Anyway, we get Pierce and Sonya Deville once again back there. And Edge comes up, and I liked this. He says, "You made the worst decision in WrestleMania history." And he looks at him and he goes, "And that's saying something." And Edge he doesn't ask. He tells them, "I'm going to be on commentary for the street fight tonight," which, not a lot we have to spend in on that right there. Now, Carmelo's music hits, right, Smark?
I did notice this, yes.
And Corey Graves popped a verbal boner.
Well, actually, I don't know if you saw it, but even before that, like, it wasn't supposed to happen, but they cut to her backstage, and she was, like, looking at a cue card, and then they hurry up and cut away, because it, like, wasn't supposed to happen.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, I forget what segment it was, but it was, like, very early into the show. I'd say probably about 20, 30 minutes in.
Yeah, I didn't see that. But Corey literally popped a verbal boner. He's like, "Wow, yeah, look at her." Whoa.
Yeah, he just kept saying, "Oh my God," over and over again.
Exactly, as they went into commercial. Now, again, verbal boner. I'm going to bring that up again because he does it again. Now, remember, Carmella is out in the ring, right? She came out to the ring. Now, Owens is interviewed backstage.
Mm-hmm.
And Sammy jumps him, and beats the hell out of him. So we get that segment. And then Carmella's still in the ring. And there's a pre-match interview with Bianca Belair. Carmella's been in the ring for like 10 minutes at this point, just fucking standing there.
Yeah.
Shit. I was laughing. I'm like, how
nice.
Poor Carmella. And I'm not even a fan of her, but I feel bad for her right now.
Well, then it was even funnier because, like, she jumped her before the entrance.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, of course she did. She's been sitting there for, like, fucking 10, 15 minutes just waiting.
Get this shit started. I'm done. I'm waiting here. I got shit to do tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Corey.
I was going to say, I just feel like her, like, whole night is just her standing in front of a mirror and brushing her hair.
Yeah. Hey, Corey, how's your ex-girlfriend? Anyway, Bianca Belair versus Carmella. Again, like Smark said, she doesn't even let her get into the ring, kicks her out, throws Bianca into some stairs, and Corey once again gets another verbal boner as we go to commercial. And I guess the match started during commercial?
Yeah, I think it did.
Okay, if you say so. I did like Carmella. Actually, this was pretty creative or clever with Carmella tying up Bianca Belair with her own hair.
Mm-hmm.
Belair still got the win here, though, Smark, of course. Now, I thought this was kind of cool, too. Again, Bianca's got that instinct. Sasha runs in and goes for the backstabber again, but Bianca catches it and kind of shakes it off, if you will.
I will. I indeed will, yes. I will say, like, her gimmick kind of sucks, and she's not really good at promos. So this is already a bad beginning of a defense of somebody, but, like, I really don't think Carmella is as bad in the ring as a lot of people say that she is.
Okay. I mean,
that was a very half-hearted defense. It wasn't like I got on my soapbox and started crying to leave Carmella alone. I'm just saying that, like, people say garbage in the ring. And I'm like, I don't see it. I think she's all right.
And I'm not saying she shouldn't be in storylines or do anything. I just personally don't care for the character or her at all. I think she's very plastic looking in many ways.
She kind of reminds me of that, like, this is going to be a little bit of a deep cut, but that Black Hole Sun music video. Where, like, people just have exaggerated facial features.
Wow.
They use, like, the video editing to, like, make their faces, like, super wide. Like, it reminds me of that.
All right. If you say so, I'd probably have to watch that again. We get that Corbin promo we already talked about, so we'll skip that. And then we get the Apollo Crews promo. It's still weird with the accent. Again, he seems very comfortable in this character. It's not him. It's going to take me a little while to get used to the accent. That's it. Not saying he's doing bad, not saying he's doing anything wrong. It's just going to take a little while to get adjusted.
I hate it. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, really?
And it's not, and I get so tired of people just being like, well, if you don't like this, you're racist. Because he lived in Nigeria. It's like, yeah, he did. He did live in Nigeria. Kane was born in Spain, but if he hadn't come out as a fucking matador and started talking in the stereotypical Spanish accent, it would be fucking terrible. Like, it reminds me of that time that Paul Burton was a pirate. Like, it was fucking stupid. The gimmick is fine. Having him be a descendant of royalty and having him saying that I'm not going to stand for being belittled and treated like shit because my ancestors were kings or that kind of thing, that's perfectly fine. I like that. That's something for him to do. He doesn't need the accent. The accent is not a character. The accent is something that he does, and he's not even doing it the same week in and week out. It sounded entirely different this week than it has the last couple. Like, he's not getting it down pat, and it just sounds ridiculous. And what he said, the promo, the words that he actually said in the promo, perfectly fine. It was good. He did a good enough job building up the feud, the match, and what have you. But it was hard to take it seriously when he was talking in that accent because it just sounded ridiculous.
I
know that's not how he talks.
No, again, that's why I said it's gonna be an adjustment. I also, Kofi's little stopping his accent was an adjustment.
Yeah, but like that's actually, I'm glad you said that because that's a good example for me. Is like when Kofi came to ECW, he was doing the Jamaican accent, so like he started with it. It would be like if they gave him that accent now. If, like, all of a sudden, just one day, I just out of the blue, Kofi Kingston started speaking like a Jamaican. Like, it would make no fucking sense.
But I do have one question for you, though. Where exactly are pirates from?
That is a very good question. Well, I'm led to believe, based on the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, that they are all from England.
They are all from England. Okay. You're right. They are. All right. I wasn't sure.
That does make me laugh. So anytime there's, like, movies that are supposed to be set like hundreds of years ago or like medieval times or what have you, that kind of thing, like any type of decade, centuries ago, it's all just English people. It's all just English accents. And like, yeah, I understand it's kind of the descendants, but like Africa's been around too.
Well,
like there've been all other countries that have been around for longer than we have.
Yeah, but people all talk so proper back then. We're just savages now. We're just savages. Ooh, yeah.
We kind of are. That's sad.
We're all savages, yeah.
Cup of coffee. Yeah.
Right down to the cream rising to the top. Yeah. Anyway, Edge comes out for commentary. Oh, man, that hurt my throat.
That's why I did it very softly.
I got no one here. That doesn't matter. Okay, yeah, Edge comes out for commentary. It's going to be the Daniel Bryan versus Jey Uso in a street fight. Roman, of course, comes out in the middle of this thing. Not in the middle. A little more to the beginning of it. Now, really, this was didn't end up in a street, so it really was just a no DQ match. They really got to... we know the difference, especially after seeing some of the street fights in AEW. And then they call these street fights. This is like the second one they've done this where it stays in the ring or in the arena.
Right.
I'm just saying. Nitpicking. I apologize, but there were some good little spots in this. I'm not going to go move by move or anything, but at one point we get Jay getting a toolbox from under the ring, had a chain in the toolbox, wrapped the chain around his hand and punched Daniel Bryan. Now, in real life, he would be busted open and you would not be getting up. Daniel Bryan did kick out, though. And even came back and at one point got the best of Jay, starts hitting him with a chair. Bryan gets him in the ring, starts, the only word I could think of when I was watching this was pummeling Jay with the chain, punching the shit out of him with it. Almost like what Sheamus does when he's got him against the ropes, but he had him on the ground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
just
beating
the shit out of him. And then basically he slaps the yes lock on him, I believe, and he taps out. That's what happened, right?
Yeah, that's it.
I was typing. I ain't gonna lie. Daniel Bryan wins the match, doesn't even hesitate, jumps out, goes right after Edge. I believe he hit Edge's head 3 times into the ring post. 3?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Then he went after Roman, hits that fucking running knee. I still say they should have called that the knee that beat Cena. And just gets him right into the yes lock, which he locked in for a good amount of time until the officials came down to break it up.
Mm-hmm.
That was like a minute, I would say, before someone came down.
I was kind of surprised that they didn't just have Edge get him up, but leave that as it may.
I don't know, man, but not a bad SmackDown. They're really ramping up Mania. I mean, Mania week starts next week, which is why this seemed like a go-home show. Because it kind of is.
I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on that, because I was seeing a lot of people. I was actually seeing a lot of people. It's kind of surprising. Complaining. Because what they're doing, essentially, is they're trying to... They're claiming that they're going to be starting WrestleMania on Friday, essentially. They're going to have a WrestleMania edition.
Right.
I'm seeing a lot of people saying that it was sort of disrespectful to the people that were involved in these matches, because they're going to have the SmackDown tag title match. They're going to have the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. And I'm going to guess they're probably also going to have the women's tag team titles, too, based on what we saw tonight.
Right. And you know what? Let's as you said with the women's matches that we were just talking about, let's get into a little rumor. And this is a rumor. WWE has not confirmed this. We were going to talk about it. We might as well right now, since we're actually bringing up some women's matches.
Sure.
Night 1 is rumored, keyword, rumored, reportedly, going to be headlined by Bianca and Sasha. And I saw people on the old Facebook losing their fucking minds. It's only night 1, first of all. And why shouldn't they? That's been one of the... I honestly, that's been really good build-up. Take Reggie out of it. It's been a good build-up.
Hasn't it? Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm not going to lose my mind over them headlighted, because that's one of the belts that they've worked hard to actually make matter. So it doesn't, like, offend my sensibilities that they're main event night 1, allegedly. I don't feel like, personally, I don't feel like the build has been all that great, because they spend a lot of time doing the whole, they're tag teaming and they don't get along thing. But, I mean, they put some effort into it. But, like, that's the thing, is it doesn't really matter anymore. Like, what main events really doesn't, especially when it's going to be 2 nights. So it's like, you know, it's already a segmented show anyway. Right. And what's interesting nowadays, I feel like, and this is more so AEW, but I feel like it's sort of beginning to change the way people do things, is that, like, a lot of the big high-profile matches now, they lead with. So it's like, it seems now, I don't know if it's just to try to get people hooked from the beginning or what, but it seems like the sort of conventional roles that we've assigned, you know, like the opening match isn't important, or, you know, the main event is the end all be all. I don't feel like those rules are really all that much in place anymore.
Not really, but again, it's only night 1. I mean, calm down. It's really not worth it to me. And again, it's only rumor. WWE hasn't confirmed it. But back to what you were saying about people complaining about this feeling like a go-home show. This is the go-home show, basically. Mm-hmm. Because there's going to be a lot of shows next week. Let's see here. I think I've got the schedule.
Like, they're basically committing to the idea that next Friday is like the pre-show.
Well, let's put it this way. Starting Monday, the 5th,
mm-hmm.
on Peacock, and let's see, the schedule of WrestleMania Week program on WWE Network and Peacock. Again, if you're in other countries, Network is still running for you. Monday, they're going to have the best of WWE and the best of WrestleMania in the 1990s. Raw Talk streaming live, so there's one thing. Tuesday, they're going to be doing the Hall of Fame ceremony. So that's it. We're starting right there. That's usually when WrestleMania starts. Hall of Fame ceremony, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We've got TakeOver, night 1 and night 2. Shit, do we need to do predictions tonight? Oh, fuck. Maybe we'll put out predictions as a special little just do predictions and put them out. over the weekend or something. Maybe we'll do that. I don't really want to do those tonight.
Okay.
So I mean, we could, but we're already an hour in, and I don't know. We'll see what the time is like here. Okay, so that's Wednesday. We're starting off right there, TakeOver. And that's not all. We've got the Best of WrestleMania up there on Peacock. The Bump is on there. And then, like I said, we're doing the NXT. And they're doing the NXT pre-show and TakeOver. Thursday, we're going to get the UK Prelude. This week in WWE, and then we're going to get Night 2 pre-show and Night 2 of TakeOver. Stand and deliver. Mm-hmm. Friday, you can watch the Best of WWE and the 205 Live, and they're going to be doing that, the special WrestleMania edition of SmackDown. So, yeah, it's kind of their go-home show. They're not going to be building many storylines next week, it seems like. They're going to just give you a bunch of shit. And then, obviously...
There's going to be downtime between those matches where they're probably going to do like the promo segments and stuff. So they'll be...
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's not going to be the same as it would be for a normal go-home show. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Saturday, you guys know we got Night 1 and Night 2. But there's a ton of stuff going on Peacock and the thing. We got the Chronicle, the Talking Smack on Saturday. Sunday, we've got Steve Austin's Broken Skull Sessions, which might as well tie this into it and not have to go back here. Sure. The next episode of this on April 11th. This coming up next Sunday is Jericho on Broken Skull Sessions with Steve Austin, and the WWE Network confirmed this. This is not, I repeat, this came out today. This is not an April Fool's joke.
Right. Yeah, I think there was some doubt because they, on yesterday, they were playing a little countdown clock to what their big announcement was going to be. So people were thinking that it was going to kind of be bullshit, but no, it's legitimate. They were, like you said, their official website reported on it. It's been on the Observer. All the signs are legit.
Right. Yeah, this is going to fucking happen. So prepare yourself for it. Going to be cool though, I think, man. Going to be a lot of shit going on, but whoosh. All right, let me see what's going on here. Oh, all right. Just went over here, and I just saw you sent me another one. But yeah, Jericho. Interesting. Very interesting. Very, very, very.
So too. Because you have to, it probably won't be the crux of what they talk about, but I feel like you must have to address the obvious elephant in the room.
Oh, yeah. That's like a 20,000-pound elephant right there just sitting in the room. You're going to have to bring it up. It's so weird with there's so many layers to this. You got them moving to Tuesdays, so they're not going to be competition anymore, which might have been a good way to break the ice with Jericho. Look, we're not competition anymore. We're on different nights. It doesn't matter anymore.
Right.
I don't know what happened, but this is going to be interesting, and I'm going to tell you now, this is going to be one. This is going to be tuned into a lot. Everyone's going to want to know what's being said.
The scuttlebutt is that Jericho had seen the one that he did with The Undertaker, the Skull Sessions with The Undertaker, and he reached out to Stone Cold Twitter that it looked good and he wanted to be on them. And Stone Cold was like, "Oh yeah, fuck yeah, buddy, whatever," that kind of thing. And I guess they started talking, and then he asked Vince if it was okay to do it, and Vince was like, "Yeah, it's all good here." And apparently Stone Cold was again like, "Are you sure about this?" He's like, "Yeah, thumbs up." I'm like, "All right, let's fucking do it."
Well, it's been recorded. It's done. It's in the can because there's pictures of it already. So, they got the picture of Jericho sitting right across from Stone Cold, and there we go. We will definitely, like I said, WWE Network's Twitter account, the blue check mark of Twitter, confirmed it. So there you go.
By the way, that's what they said on Observer today. I'm not just pulling things out of my ass.
Please don't pull anything out of your ass.
Well, no. There's a reason why I'm not on webcam, but hey.
No, well, okay there, Ricochet.
I'm glad you remember that, because I was thinking that nobody else remembered that. And I was like, did that actually happen? Like, I was convinced that that happened, and that that
No,
was
it did.
people for a while.
It did, but it's okay. It's okay. Let's just get into NXT like nothing ever happened.
Sure, yes.
NXT was an all right show. I liked it. It was okay. There's a lot to make it not so long. A lot of this show was Raquel Gonzalez and Io Shirai going after each other.
Mm-hmm.
This
like
whole
the fucking fighting chicken bit on Family Guy. It just went on and on and on and
on and on and on and on and on and on and on. But it was a big part of the show, but it was a good part of the show with Gonzalez getting the upper hand for most of the show. But Io, I guess you could say Gonzalez, won the battle, but Io ended up winning the war in the end.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess you could say that.
Yeah, because Io did end up getting the best of her. Now that we'll still, we'll mention it, but we don't need to dig into it. That was a lot of the show. And the other part of the show, we might as well just kind of lump together. There were 3 or 4 little skits and segments with a dog running. Old Frankie running through at one point he was running down the hall, running through the arena, and then he ran into the employee thing. It was really just a clever way for them to market their moving to Tuesdays.
Yes.
So we don't need to bring up the dog skit every time it came up, right?
No, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that when they call the dog up to Raw, do you think it's going to get misused?
Man, it's a cute dog. It's a very. I believe it looked like. Was it a Pomeranian or a toy something? I don't know. I don't know what it was.
I'm not sure.
But they don't have a good track record bringing up animals.
No.
At all. I mean, we saw what the British Bulldogs were doing with the dog.
Mm-hmm. Totally squandered the gobbledygook.
Yeah,
and fuck joke.
Mantar.
Mm-hmm.
They really don't have a track record with animals, so I don't see a bright future for this dog. Meanwhile, he's adorable.
Tori Wilson had a dog for a little while.
Yeah, so did Al Snow.
Oof. I do love the just cartoonishly evil Big Boss Man run where he just like fat Al Snow, his dog, fucking dragged Big Show around at his dad's casket. Like he was just like diabolically evil. It was fucking amazing.
Tell me, does that meat need pepper?
It was great because he was just like, "Oh, you're crying about your dead daddy." I'm like, this is fucking great.
That might be one Peacock finds offensive too.
Probably.
They're getting to it. I believe they did get rid of the DX segment, which I think WWE had already gotten rid of that one too. The one where they came in and it was.
Yeah, they're supposed to be the Nation of Domination.
Right, X-Pac as Mizark Henry, and I think WWE got rid of that too. Again, man, I really don't see. You can find it. You know where to find it. Go find it.
Which is actually interesting because X-Pac has talked about this in the past because I don't know if it's his girlfriend, fiance, what have you, but one of his partners, and I think is the one that he has now, is African American. And he was like, well, okay, I got to address the elephant in the room here. A long time ago, I did something that wasn't great.
You may see it one day, but he wasn't.
Well, it wasn't his decision, ultimately,
A, and B, it wasn't, he wasn't out there making fun of his race. He was just making fun of him being fat and being black. I mean, I know it's offensive now. It just wasn't. I guess it was still offensive back then, and that's kind of what made it. It still was, obviously.
It was sort of the point, though, is that they were doing this thing to be offensive and to be shocking and titillating. I mean, you had Goldust coming out there, too.
In whatever he was wearing at the time.
Well, he did. He was wrestling he was wrestling like Flash Funk, I think it was.
Yeah.
And he had an afro and he had blackface, too, and it wasn't great. It's definitely not great now. But
no, but this is also
the whole point was that he was supposed to be an asshole and provocative and shocking. And
this is also a company that's made fun of multiple disabilities.
Sure. Yes.
multiple disabilities. Goldust comes to mind, making fun of Tourette syndrome. Eugene, just one word.
Stairs in his wheelchair.
Yeah, one word, Eugene.
Oh, yeah, that. I'm really curious what they do with that, actually.
That one, because Eugene was kind of superhero-ish in a way. That one they might let slide. Because he always ended up, getting the win one way or the other, and that might slide.
There's more of a gray area.
Yeah, you're right. There is. But still, they were still, making fun of, disabilities and things like that. They never put anything past this company is all I'm saying. Never.
You've referred to Kane as the R word a couple of times.
Yeah. They used to use that word all the time.
Goldust, the Jerry the King Lawler promo on Goldust.
Hey, F word, not fuck. I'll say that word. But yeah, bundle of sticks.
Which, I mean, none of it's great, but it is slightly kind of amusing to think about the fact that there's this guy that has to comb through all of this. And he's just like, I just imagine some guy just fucking pulling his hair out. It's like, Jesus.
Yeah, just one guy sitting, it's probably one guy. That's what it is. One dude, just one dude. Just sitting there like, this is offensive. And you're like, dude, calm down. Just bring them coffee and Jolt Cola. It's fucking...
Nice Jolt Cola. I like it.
I remember the old Jolt Cola. I could use one right now. I could use one. But anyway, let's get into this NXT. This is going to be another one we kind of roll through again. We just kind of got through a few segments there that we don't need to spend a lot of time on now. This show did kick off, though, with Roderick Strong versus Cameron Grimes. Remember last week, Cameron Grimes tried to buy the merch rights from Roddy. Cameron walks out. He's got a clipboard in his hand, and he's still trying to buy the rights. He looks like he had a contract to do it. And he breaks out his shirt that says, Grimes the System.
Right.
It's obviously a play on Shock the System. But the funny part was when he put his name in the music, and it came out, Grimes the System.
I do love how much effort they put into that, because you had that, you had the audio drop of Grimes the System, you had the Titantron graphic of Grimes the System, you had the t-shirt, and like immediately after the Undisputed Era music, like immediately cut into his theme song.
Yeah.
So it's just I just like the idea that it was just all about him. I was kind of hoping he would just agree to it and just be like, yeah, I need somebody with charisma to carry me. I'm not long for this world if I don't have somebody who cut promos talking for me. So sure, why not?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Let's do it. But he didn't. They had a little match there. Mm-hmm. Roderick jumped out actually before the match and basically threw Cameron Grimes into the ring. Now listen. Roderick Strong is not bad in the ring. I've never complained about his in-ring ability, ever.
Right.
He's just very generic to me. He's just very generic. That's it. Christopher Kane stopping by. What's up? It's just very generic. His character, his style, everything is a dime a dozen.
Absolutely, yeah.
To me, fair. But he is very good in the ring, and this was actually a good match between these two. And NXT has always had good. When they do kick off with a match instead of a fucking promo, it's usually a damn good match, and this was. I'm not gonna lie.
Sure.
And Grimes obviously has grown on me. I've been praising him lately.
Well, yes, I'm obviously I'm in the man's corner. I'm all about it.
Yeah, I know. You always were. You were. And you told me. You know what's funny? You told me he's going to grow on you, and I said, I don't think so. But
yeah, I told you you'd get there.
And I did. And I love that he's just trying to find ways to lose his money. I think it's hilarious. I really do.
And like that's the thing is like I wasn't like a super big fan of him on the Indies either. It's like I knew he existed, but it was kind of like, yeah, he's all right. And then when they signed him, I thought for sure that they were just signing him so that other people wouldn't, and that they were just going to turn him into this big like jobber character.
Yeah.
And like he doesn't win like a lot, but they made him. He's a legitimate part of the show. He's not like just like fucking basically Ricochet type character.
Ricochet getting a lot of airtime tonight on this show. But
Yes.
yeah.
Say though, real quick, he needs to like maybe not so much do. And I love the move; it looks cool, but that like twisting power slam thing, or not power slam, but the twisting slam splash combination move that he does.
Right.
Not so great. Like this week, it looked like he almost landed on his head. Like it looked like he very narrowly avoided landing on his head and like potentially seriously bugging himself up.
Yeah, I did catch that. I watched the full version this week, so I might have seen a few things that you didn't. And if that's the case,
the only thing that I didn't see was I only saw one of the dog segments. I didn't see that there were multiple. But I did go back and watch the full version after I watched the Hulu version, because really the only reason I watched the Hulu version, and I'd recommend other people doing it, is they skip the picture-in-picture, which I fucking hate.
Right, and we did get a little bit of that, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't that bad the other night. I actually watched all this today.
Okay.
Well, like I said, I wasn't expecting to work. I ended up working until about 3:30, but it was fine. I didn't have to go in early. I worked on my time today. It was another van delivery, so it was my day. So it was fine. But basically this is how the match kind of ended here. Grimes reached in his tights, and I'm like, oh, what's he getting out of there? He pulls out an Undisputed Era armband, and I don't know if the smell or what distracted Roderick Strong about the armband so much, but Grimes ended up getting the win because Roderick Strong was very distracted by an armband. Smart.
Yes. Well, they put it over on commentary as it being him being unable to move on from his past and be still stuck in the Undisputed Era and what he should do now that they broke up, that kind of thing.
I get it, but he had no problem picking up something that's been in a sweaty guy's underpants.
Oh, this is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like particularly like hairy and kind of gross looking.
Yeah, I'd be weary of picking that up is all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Weary. Very weary. A little grossed out, to be honest with you.
Sure.
But again, Cameron Grimes has grown on me. I do like it. And he was out there, I think he came out again in this yeah, he did, because he came out for the Battle Royal. Which the Battle Royal
Which even that Roderick Strong was supposed to be in the Battle Royal too, but they put it over. He lost the match, Cameron Grimes, and then he just like walked out. He lost his smile, as it were.
He walked on down the hall. That's what he did. Just walked on down the hall. Those of you who get that, I appreciate you. Karrion Kross got a little video package here, a little kind of a training montage. I like this. I liked it a lot, actually. I liked that he was saying I'm going back to basics, the judo, the striking, this and that. I liked it. I really did. I thought it was great. I wish they had Survivor music, like just sitting there playing Eye of the Tiger behind it.
Yeah, I liked it too. I don't know what it is, but like I guess it was because it was like just white attire that they had him training in. But for some reason, it just looked like it was like more. It looked like he was wearing less clothing than he normally does, and I found that to be a little bit distracting. Like it looked like he was just like straight up in his underwear, just fucking training and throwing shit around. I was like, that's a little unsettling, but hey, whatever.
Hey, to listen, he was doing it in front of Scarlett. Jesus Christ, I'd be in my underwear all the time around her. Less clothes to take off.
That was kind of funny. She was just like standing there in the room while he's like tossing shit around. She's just like, hey.
Yeah, I mean, she's literally everywhere.
She was the Corey in this segment. She was the one that was like, "Oh my god!"
She had a verbal boner. No, that doesn't. Whatever. It's 2021. Legado Hotel Phantasma's in the ring. Smark.
Yes.
Santos Escobar issues an open challenge, and he's telling Jordan Devlin that he's the emperor of Lucha Libre. I liked what he said here, though. That's not a catchphrase. That's not just something I take lightly. I am the emperor of Lucha Libre. Now, whose music hits Smart, but Tyler Breeze.
Mm-hmm.
And he came out saying some bullshit. All I know is he accepted the open challenge. What? What's wrong?
What a great description. I mean, you're not wrong. Basically, it was an open challenge. He came out and said, since you issued an open challenge, I'm accepting it. But I mean, yeah, I was just like that. He came out, he was fucking talking about something. Who gives a shit? It's Tyler Breeze. What?
I've never liked that character. Never liked. I mean, again, I don't know what kind of I don't know what kind of guy he is. I've never liked the character. I don't like the Brazongo. I'm not a fan of Fandango. So I kind of just tune out. I'm sorry. I tune out when he's talking. I just don't give a fuck.
Well, I mean, they've sort of gone out of their way to establish the fact that they're both kind of a non-factor.
Yeah, and Tyler Breeze taking out the fucking all of Legado del Fantasma before the commercial. Fuck you. Fuck you. He's taking out 3 guys like he's fucking Brock Lesnar. Kiss my ass.
Well, there you go.
Sorry.
Some real adverse viewing reaction there.
Got a little worked up there. I apologize for that. Now, we all knew he wasn't going to win the title anyway, Breeze. But right. I will say they did give you a little bit of hope throughout the match that he would. But, of course, Escobar got the win. Wilde and Mendoza get in the ring. They lift up Breeze, only to have MSK come back. Now, I know one of the guys was there, but Wesley had a small little injury, right?
Yeah.
Right. Now, next thing you know, we get the grizzled young veterans on the screen. And I swear to God, who's copying and pasting their promos? Because they're the exact fucking same every week.
Pretty much.
I don't know if it's the accent, but it seems like they're saying the same. Not they. Only one guy says something. The other guy just sits there and looks dangerous, which he doesn't.
Veterans, and we're going to show you why they call us the grizzled young veterans, because we're that grizzled young veteran. It's like wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That was 2 minutes of my life of not getting back. Thank you.
Well, yeah. Well, look who's getting a little salty now.
Well, it's funny because I actually like the one guy, the one that I think he's the one that just always stands there looking intense. But like, you're right though; it's the same promo every time.
I'm sitting there listening, and I'm like, literally, who's copying and pasting this? Because they need to switch up some words, because this is the same shit every fucking week from them that we hear. And I like the team. I actually like them both.
Mm-hmm.
But the cadence, the words, they just seems the same every week. I'm glad you feel the same way, because I thought maybe I was crazy. So
no, not really. And it's about, you're about right. It's about the same thing every time.
Good. I'm glad. Sometimes I think I'm going crazy. Then sometimes you kind of solidify that I am.
Well, yeah, just because like, you know, I'm also crazy. It's important to remember.
We're just a couple wild and crazy guys.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the gas leak has made it to both of us. Don't worry.
A very old SNL skit. Sorry.
No, I remember that one. It's fucking Steve Martin.
Yeah, and Martin Short.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 of the 3 amigos, if you will.
There you go.
Love that movie. We get the way backstage. They're talking about the Gauntlet Eliminator. Gargano is complaining that it's not fair. Now, and then he asks Theory. I loved this part. I thought it was hilarious. Nice little dig here. He asks Theory, why are you even in the match? Are you trying to get back at me for making you go to therapy? And Austin Theory's like, dude, you ever heard of the finger poke of doom? And Gargano goes, dude, that killed the business. Theory's answer was great. We're still here. I loved it. I thought it was cool. Like I said, it was a nice little dig. I thought it was, they own it. So they just made fun of themselves.
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much, which I thought was pretty funny. Indy, though, says she's rooting for Dexter Lumis, and I'm not sure how they're doing it, but she's looking better every week.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Wow, is she looking better every week? It's like they're like, okay, well, let's do this. And my God, she looked just absolutely drop dead gorgeous backstage there and in the match that we had.
Well, yes, there was her choice of attire for that match was particularly interesting for a couple of reasons.
Again, gorgeous, looked gorgeous in that match. But we get a quick recap of the Raquel Gonzalez planning EO on the table last week, which kind of brings us to all the, again, we're going to mention, but we're not going to spend a lot of time because a lot of time was spent with these two tonight. Mm-hmm. Or, I'm sorry, I watched it today. 2 nights ago.
Yeah, throughout the duration of the show.
Thank you. Oh, man, rough one tonight. So we do get that match, which is Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. They're going up against Gigi Dolan, formerly Priscilla Kelly, which is, I don't know if her and Darby, I think they announced one time they were breaking up, but I haven't heard anything. I think they might actually still be together.
I couldn't tell you.
I don't really know. It's her life. Just whatever. But, and then we get Zeta Ramir, who if you remember, this is one of the girls we looked up when they were doing these. She's formerly AQA. Again, I don't know if she pronounced it Aqua or AQA, but she was trained by Booker T. Mm. She's a Booker T student. Now, when you don't really know who they are and they haven't really had a vignette or we don't know, or established it all, usually you expect these girls to come off like jobbers, but I'll tell you what, these two girls, Dolan and Ramir, I don't think they came off like jobbers. I actually think they had a great match together.
Yeah, I'd say that. It was a pretty good showing.
Yeah.
I mean, you knew that they weren't going to win, but they also didn't make them look to be like the charts.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I just didn't think they weren't just out there, eating the pin in it wasn't a quick squash match or anything. But Candice and Indy obviously did get the win. Indy actually ended up getting the win for the team. Candice calls out Shotzi and Ember, and of course they come out and. What was that? They come out on the tank. I got to tell you, man, I'm liking these two together more and more each week, Shotzi and Ember.
Yeah, they're a good pairing. I mean, they're probably going to have both for a while, so it's a good thing that they're at least palatable.
Yeah, and it's got nothing to do with their wrestling. Honestly, I just like these two. What they're saying, how they're coming out, how they really look like they're having a good time, and I don't know, it comes off like they're really having fun doing this little gimmick together. Shotzi even got to shoot her cannon again, but to me, it just looks like they're having a great time doing this, and they look good together. They are good together, and I'm enjoying them more and more each week together.
Sure. Yeah, I like it. I like the little post-apocalyptic type outfits, Mad Max sort of vibe about them. They sort of wrestle kind of similar, so it's like it all makes sense. They work well together. They feel better than just a random mismatched tag team like how they normally tend to do.
Yeah, it's almost like I'm having fun with the characters because they are.
Sure, yeah, I can see that.
And it makes it enjoyable to me. So, all right. Again, we do see Io sees Raquel heading to her match. They brawl. Raquel takes her out. That's all we need to do right there. Now, once again, like Smark said, we get Roderick walking down the hall, and he just says, "I'm done with all of it. I'm done." Anyway, who gives a shit? A little plug in. They have Austin Theory there to plug in for you. Or anyone else.
Replaceable.
20 other fucking guys. We do get a match here between Raquel Gonzalez and Zoe Stark. Now, I like this dynamic too between these two right here. You got the bigger jacked girl in Raquel, and you got the smaller jacked girl with Zoe. Kind of like the big bodybuilder versus like the bikini competitor almost. Mm-hmm. But a hell of a competitive match here. Zoe got in a lot of good offense, a near fall even. But Raquel, of course, this show was building Raquel the whole night, so you knew she was getting the win.
Oh yes, absolutely. I'm kind of curious to see what they're going to be doing with Zoe Stark, because they had her the very first match. They had her taking on Io, or not? I don't think it was the very first match. She won her first match, and then they had her take on Io. So like the idea is that they're giving her all these high profile opponents like right off the very bat when she's supposed to be, kind of air quotes new. This is going to be interesting to see if they have her sort of incorporate the lessons that she learned taking on the elite level competition, and if that's going to shape her into being one of in that position within the next couple of months or so.
Yeah, it will be interesting because right now they've already fit her into that that good hand You know, she's able, because she's winning. She's not really winning any of these matches, but she's going out there and having great matches. But they just kind of got her as the good hand right now. So hopefully they'll be like, wow, she's good enough to really start winning and pushing now. So we'll see.
It reminds me of that like Shelton Benjamin role where they had him be like, he beat Triple H when he was the champion. He was having that match with like Shawn Michaels, and they were putting him in with all these like top guys like right off the bat when he was like the beginning of his singles run.
Right. Yeah, I guess you could. I guess you could with that. But after Raquel gets the win, Io runs down, jumps Raquel. Io gets ragdolled into the cage around the barricade. So, once again, Raquel just the beast, once again, winning another little battle here. But we get Kushida backstage talking to McKenzie. And Pete Dunne walks up and he's like, I heard you say you're the best wrestler in the world last week. I hold that title. And it's like, yeah, really? Come on. Anyway. Basically, Kushida's just like, yeah, I'll see you later in the Battle Royal. Go away. Leave me alone. Get out of my face. Fuck off. I agree with him. I was like, damn, you tell him, Kushida.
I would have loved if he just like reached it. Kushida just reaches into like his back pocket and pulls out like a paper towel and starts trying to like wipe away Pete Dunne's bronzer. Like, you're a very dirty man, and just starts trying to clean him.
I would have liked to just reach to his back pocket and pulled out a middle finger. Okay. Hey, I got something back here for you. Look at that, bitch. All right. Yeah, I would do that and get my ass kicked. Who cares? Wouldn't be the first time. We get a little video here, though, of Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly's whole little feud laid out in a video. Now, I'm watching and I'm like, I kind of like the shoot style. And then I'm looking again and I'm like, but it also looks like an interrogation room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was great. I think it was supposed to be.
Yeah. So I'm kind of like, wow. I'm liking it, but now I feel like is this from when they got arrested? Were they being questioned here? I don't know what's going on. It was a long video, though.
Mm-hmm.
But I did like it.
It was different. It was definitely different. I liked that. Like, if you liked, because it was, and I understandably so, but it was pretty heavy on the sort of video packages this week, summing up all the feuds and what happened throughout them, and, you know, all that. If you like those, apparently Jeremy Borash was the one responsible for those. Old JB is in the truck cranking out the video packages.
Wow. I mean, look.
He's taking over for Chuck Palumbo.
Chuck Palumbo, there you go. Now, throwback.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like that. Man. Fucking pollen count. The allergy. I had two warnings today for allergies. I'm sorry I keep coughing, guys.
Not so much today, but like yesterday and definitely the day before, I've been feeling kind of rough with the allergies. So.
Yeah. And I mean, Smark can tell you, I'm not sitting here hitting the fucking pipe, coughing off that. I swear to God I'm not. But Borash also had a lot to do with the Hardys during that whole feud and Impact. So, talented guy, man. They were actually lucky to pick him up and have him backstage for and listen, they've got a guy that knows how to go out there and be a voice if they need it. Yeah,
for sure. He's versatile.
So he's another good hand, I guess we could say, backstage and elsewhere if they ever need it. So, but I did like this little video. We had some old pictures of those guys together, coming up together, kind of leading up till now. But,
yeah, interesting about that too. Real quick, and I completely undercut you, but one of the photos they used was from New Japan. They even put courtesy of New Japan Pro Wrestling, so it's like very interesting that everybody's sort of collaborating together in some small regard.
Everybody was shut down and needs a little extra cash, my man. Everyone could use a little cash infusion, Smark. A little stimulus, if you will. Huh? A little stimmy. Got to get that stimmy. Actually, me and the wife are saying if we get the stimulus, we didn't get the middle one, but if we get it, we're gonna probably get cable back. We're just gonna pay it for the year.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so be a little easier for me to watch everything. Now, after all that, we get into the what was supposed to be Tian Sha versus Casey Cannizzaro and Caden Carter. It ended up being really just Xia Li kicking both their asses.
Right. Yeah, I had to actually kind of double back because I was like, was this booked as a handicap match? And I had to go back and look, and it was like, no, it's a tag team match.
Well, Mei Ying, who's the other character sitting there on the throne, was supposed to be a part of this match, but never really was until Caden decided to taunt her, and then it was like some Darth Vader shit when she grabbed her throat.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mei Ying blew some smoke in her face. What happened?
That was apparently it. That's apparently like some sort of or Mortal Kombat fatality or whatever. Because like you said, she didn't do anything up until that point, but then when she blew that smoke in her face, it was apparently enough to kill her. So I mean, that's a pretty big, it's a valuable asset if you could have somebody on your team that could just kill somebody with smoke.
Can chloroform be turned into smoke? I don't know.
I'm sort of legally advised not to answer that question. So
Okay. Let's just move on then.
Sure.
Xia did end up winning that match, of course, because basically at that point it was just Katie Cannizzaro and Xia Li. So
right, literally, because like literally Carter got the smoke blown into her face, and then she sold it as though it were death. Mm-hmm. So that was it for her in that match, and then Xia Li took out Cannizzaro, and that was the end of the match.
that was it. Now, spend a minute or two on this. Now, Raquel and Io did go at it again here.
I think if I have the order correctly, I loved this one. This was the one they were talking to Raquel Gonzalez.
Yep.
And you see, like, in the background, you see fucking Io just, like, this long running start and just jump on top of her, and it still just didn't matter.
And Raquel's has to not be like, I don't see her. Yes, you do. Everyone does.
If you don't see her, you can hear her fucking running across the room.
Raquel did end up putting her through a wall. Now, you could tell what they did was just take out the windows and put in a wall. But still, it looked great. Doesn't matter. Not at all. Good shit here, though. Once again, Raquel won every battle until she did not win the war at the end of the show. So, I think that's the best. In my opinion, that might be one of the better ways to put it. I don't know if it really is. You figure that out.
Okay.
Now, we get Ciampa back there, Smark, in his beloved promo spot, which is on the crate with the roll-up door behind him. And he's talking about his family and his journey. He's saying that people said that he's changed, and he said, yeah, I have. But it's the ones who support him that are fueling him right now. Then he gets pissed, and I think he knocked down a roll of cords that were there. And he tells Walter the killer instinct is still there. The killer, the psycho killer, is still there, and he's leaving as NXT UK champion.
Yes.
Good shit here. Always love these by Ciampa. I from the spot he sits in to what he usually says, always good shit.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think it was probably the best promo of the show. It was, like you said, just him talking about how everybody thinks that he's changed, that he's weak, that he's soft now because he's been through a couple of injuries and he's had a kid and he's supposed to be at the point in his career and his life or what have you, that he's mellowing down. But if that's what you think he's going to be, then you're going to be in for one hell of a surprise, that kind of thing. I really enjoyed it. Like, this is one of those things where they kind of like almost sprung it on you on the last minute because they like announced it last week. So it's really only had 2 weeks essentially of build, but it's really all it needed because I think I see a lot of people that are very excited about it. Me amongst them. That's going to be one of the ones that they do on the Wednesday show, which is going to be the last Wednesday takeover, or not takeover. Well, it's supposed to be a takeover, but the last Wednesday,
Right.
NXT.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Great. And again, man, if anyone can speed build a feud, it's Tommaso Ciampa and still make it good.
Well, it's a very simple story. It's like, okay, you're
Right.
a really tough guy. I'm a really tough guy. I'm going to try to kick your ass. You're going to try to kick my ass. That's it.
That's it. And that's the storyline. You got two fucking amazing guys in the ring that are both willing to take a hell of a beating. One's just bigger than the other, but Ciampa hasn't ever backed down to anyone. So I'm telling you, we all know that is going to be a hell of a match. So prepare for it. I see Ciampa coming out with his chest damn near bleeding in this match from Walter's chops. So anyway, let's move on. We're almost done already with this, and we've only got very few news stories here. As a matter of fact, we only have 3, and a couple of them are just quick mentions. We're not going to really spend time on them, so we'll do what we can here. But we get this little Battle Royal match coming up. Now, I'm not going to go through a ton of this, but I'll give you the order. But I will say a few little things that stood out in the match was Loomis just standing in the corner and no one even trying to fuck with him throughout pretty much the whole match until he decided to help eliminate Bronson Reed.
Mm-hmm. That was very interesting because they didn't even, they're kind of subtle about it. They didn't even call attention to it on commentary all that much.
Not really. Once or twice they mentioned it, but no one wanted to fuck with him. So he just stood in the corner. Now I believe last week when we were doing this, kind of going through people that were going to maybe make it, we both, I can't remember if we both but Kushida and Dunn, I think we put him in and then we said if they took him out, we know that they're going to have a standalone match. That's great anyway. Mm-hmm. So obviously that's what's going to happen. It's going to be obviously after TakeOver, but that's obviously the big feud starting right there. And of course, Grimes tried paying LA Knight and Loomis not to eliminate him. It didn't work. But we did get down finally to a final 6, and I'll kind of just tell you how the final 6 is going to happen next week in the Gauntlet Eliminator match. Mm-hmm. We got, I'm going to go who's coming in last. I'm going to mention first. So LA Knight's going to be the last in there because he won the match.
Yes. Dexter
Loomis will be next. Then Cameron Grimes, Bronson Reed, Isaiah Swerve Scott, and Leon Ruff. So it's going to be Leon Ruff in first, and then Leon Ruff and Isaiah should start the match. Bronson, Cameron, Dexter, and LA Knight last. So that's how we're going to do that right there next week. Not a bad match. I mean, Battle Royal, a lot of shit going on. Anything else on that before we get into the last little part where Io and Raquel kill each other?
Not so much. Like we were talking about it before, it was very kind of convoluted, and like it still came off a little bit convoluted. But I think they did a good enough job of sort of explaining how it is and everything shakes out. And I thought it was cool that when they got down to the final 6, like as they were being eliminated, they put up the order that they would then be entered in for the Gauntlet.
Right.
So I think, like you said, like Swerve was the first one out or whatever. He was like number 1, or I think Ruff was the first one out. And he was number 1.
Yeah, and obviously Theory was not in there anymore because, I believe that was the dumbest way he got kicked out of the match.
Yes, I liked it, though, because I feel like that sort of goes with who that they want him to be as being this sort of lovable, like, knucklehead character. Because you get I forget exactly how he did it, but Bronson Reed ends up knocking him out. He lands on his back, but his feet are in the air. So he starts, like, you get all ready for the build of it's going to be like this, like, Kofi Kingston style. How is he going to get back into the ring? So he's on his feet, and he starts trying to do it, do a kip-up. Starts trying to kip up. Does a perfect kip-up, but because he did a kip-up to the floor and not, like, onto the apron, both feet touch the floor, he's eliminated.
Yeah, they're just making him a lovable idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Just making the guy a lovable idiot. I'm not that crazy about it. At all.
I mean, as long as he's part of the group, as long as he's part of the way it works. I don't know about necessarily having that be his character when he's on his own, but for like right now, with him still being kind of new and them trying to get him experience and seasoning and what have you, it's a good character for right.
Yeah, all right, I'll go with that. So after all the battles with Io and Raquel throughout the night, Io, after this whole match, just gets in the ring. I think she called out Raquel Gonzalez. She wasn't speaking a language I could understand, so I'm guessing she called out Raquel. Raquel came out anyway, so I don't know. I don't know Smark, but they brawled. The refs are trying to break it up. The women's locker room comes out and try to break it up. Io takes out Raquel and then ends up diving off the ropes to take out half of the women's locker room.
Mm-hmm.
So Io just took out fucking everybody and again ended up kind of winning the war at the end of the show here by taking out Raquel, finally taking out Raquel.
Not entirely sure how I feel about all that anyway, but it is what it is, because you kind of had Io looking like a chump for most of the show, and then, like you said, she did sort of prevail at the end, but...
See, I don't feel that way. I think she kept coming back and showing that she's resilient and not going to take the shit. She can take whatever beating she gets. This made her look like, I liked it. I thought it just made her look like a fucking kick-ass, badass chick that's going to keep coming back from whatever you give her.
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting way to look at it, because they did have her. She was being interviewed, and they're like, the interviewer lady was like, yeah, Raquel's been kind of beating your ass. How about that, huh? And she was like, yeah, that's why I picked her. Was that she was going to be, she was going to beat me up. She was going to take it to him. I'm going to be able to see if I can, endure. So I guess you could look at it that way.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I looked at it different, but I saw it as, Io just almost like when Kevin Owens was doing that against Roman. Whatever you give him, I'm just going to keep getting my ass kicked, but I'm going to keep coming back no matter how much you kick my ass.
Sure.
That's sort of where the vibe, if you will, that I'm getting from this. Anyway, that was NXT. If you weigh NXT and AEW, I think AEW was more of a entertaining, fun show, and NXT was more of a wrestling story building show. Which
I think a pretty good example of just how to describe it was something that I heard on The Observer not like this week. And I forget who it was that said it, or it was a quote, because somebody had said it and they attributed it to somebody, so I don't remember who was the original author of the quote. But essentially what they were saying was that when AEW has good matches, they're usually different. But when NXT has good matches, they're usually like the same type of matches. Mm-hmm. So it's like AEW, like this is more of a variety it's more variety show, just kind of in general.
Yeah, and I kind of think that's what they're going for. They want that variety kind of thing, and be the, oh, look, we've got this for you and this for you, and look, you don't like this, well, maybe you'll like this coming up next. So
sure,
I don't know, but I think AEW was more the, and honestly, NXT should have been doing what they did. They should have been building stories like they were, because I mean, it's they got fucking TakeOver coming up,
mm-hmm.
two nights of it next week, so they did they did their job. And AEW, though, doesn't have a pay-per-view coming up right now, so they did their job too. Just two different shows with two shows with two different vibes. I'm sorry, go ahead, Smart.
I know, I was gonna say this is gonna be interesting because, like we had kind of talked about, it's going to be the last NXT episode that's on a Wednesday, so it's sort of the end of the Wednesday Wars is over. So it's going to be interesting to see if, with it being a takeover and with the card being as stacked as it is, because that's like a really nice looking card for next week.
Oh, yeah.
If they're going to be able to sort of get over that hump and win the last week of them going head to head, sort of.
You would think with them doing the Mania type thing, they would get a nice little bump next week. I hope they do. I'll be honest with you. I really do.
Right, because even the gap, like it was down for everybody this week, but even the gap between the shows, it wasn't super high.
Right.
You had AEW at 700,000. You had NXT at 654,000.
Wow. Maybe everyone's taking a little break before Mania comes up next week. I don't know.
Could be, honestly. I don't know. Like, yeah, it wasn't great for anybody. It was down across the board, but just comparatively, it was closer than it normally is.
So you said 700 for
700 even for NXT, which is very weird that 700,000 people exactly watched that show. I know that's not what happened. But anyways, and then it was 654.
So around a little over 1.3. Wow, that's down 400,000 from the usual. Again, I've said this a ton of times in the show that 1.7 million combined is kind of where we started. I got to say, man, if AEW doesn't start pulling when they're unopposed on Wednesdays, if they're not going to start pulling like eights, I'm not sure if that's a win.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. They're certainly trying to do what they can to get more people.
Yeah.
I'll see what that reality show does for them.
Yeah, we'll see what that does. Anywho.
Oh, I hate it too, but it's not for me.
No, it's not. But again, I'm probably gonna want to watch it either way. Anyway, Smark, why don't you jump into this little Paige story that you put up here, and then we'll end up on these two little Hall of Fame things.
Sure, go ahead and dig that up here real quick.
I mean, I love the little thumbnail from the video you put up here. But
yes, she is. Indeed.
She is a pretty girl when she really wants to be, man. And then sometimes she just lets herself go. But she's very, very, very attractive. Paige.
She is. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's one of those things where, like, we kind of do without some of the plastic surgery, like maybe take up a break with that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Go.
This is from Fightful.com. It says, despite being forced to retire in 2018, Paige still considers herself a wrestler, which the alternative is being a Twitch streamer, so I don't blame her for considering herself to be a wrestler. Anyways, though it is unknown if Paige will ever wrestle again, the comeback stories of Daniel Bryan and Edge have given everyone hope that Paige could possibly step foot in the ring once again. Speaking to Renee Paquette on our favorite podcast, Oral Sessions, which, by the way, she had Lisa Ann on there the other day. So it's like you're leaning into this.
I saw she had Lisa Ann. Do you watch your movies back?
It's a weird fucking question. Like, you take notes.
Yeah.
You study and tape, kid.
There is one porn star out there whose parents are her, like, manager, and they watch her movies and critique her, and I forget who it is, but there is one.
I've heard this. I know that. I can't remember who it is either, but I have heard this, and it's just so fucking.
It's very creepy. It makes you think her daddy did. Anyway, keep going.
But yes. So, anyways, Paige was on Blowjob the podcast with Renee Young. Paige said she's going to get her neck checked soon. And this is from Fightful, but it's written. Paige said she's going to get her neck checked soon.
Yeah.
And is excited. You need to proofread this shit, people. And is excited to see if progress has been made. Quote, I get chills when I saw Bryan and Edge talking to each other backstage. It was so inspiring and makes me feel good. I haven't had any issues with my neck right now. Sometimes I'll wake up and it'll feel weird, but it will go away. I'm going to get my neck checked really soon to see if the progress of it. Hopefully it looks good. I'm not saying any form that they're going to clear me. It's literally just a checkup, but I'm intrigued to know how my neck has progressed. It feels good. It scares me as well to come back to wrestling because I really want to and would come back tomorrow, but I'll have it in the back of my head, like, what if something happens and I do get paralyzed? It does scare me, and I know I'm not going to be fully ready mentally to come back, but watch out, world. When I'm mentally ready to come back, everyone is in trouble, she said. But yeah, I mean, it goes on a little bit more, but that's the crux of it.
Yeah, and you know, she should be a little optimistic. I mean, I talked about it on one of the shows where you dropped out, and we talked about it on the next week, that it is pretty cool to be seeing Daniel Bryan and Edge and Roman Reigns, three guys who hit some pretty fucking high walls in their career. You know, we've said, you know, you got Bryan, who had to retire early, Edge had to retire early, and Roman, who, you know, out of nowhere we got, oh, look, I have leukemia and it's kind of back. You know, but the two guys she should be actually looking up to. I would not mind seeing Paige back. I have no problem with it. She's cleaned herself up. She looks great. She's doing great, it seems like. She looks like she's in a great place at this point. And yeah, Daniel Bryan, Edge, both were supposed to be retired, done, never coming back, deal with it, learn to live without him. Both are back. Both are in the main event picture. She could be too. And she and that's a good inspiration for her to have right there, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's definitely like it's a big risk for sure. And it's kind of dangerous in the sense of like, like she was talking about, getting herself in that mental state of being able to go out there and do this and, risk what it is that she's risking, what ultimately anybody is risking when they do that. But, people who already have sort of an injury history are perhaps a little bit more prone to that kind of thing happening to them. But then just the idea of like, it's a lot to risk, because if she does end up, getting herself back into shape, she does end up taking that risk, taking that chance, and then she does get injured again, and that's like the second time where she fought to come back and it didn't go well. Like that could potentially fuck somebody up for a very time.
Absolutely, but if you go back to Edge's retirement speech, I guess if you will, it was, listen, I could come back, but if I take the wrong move, I could get paralyzed. So it was the same thing. It was the same thing. So you could see where Paige has the thought that maybe one day I'll come back. Now, she may not heal the same way these guys did, but Edge is more Daniel Bryan had concussion issues more than any other injury. It was basically concussion issues, which once again, I don't know why people aren't swarming around Daniel Bryan. He reversed CTE, everybody.
Sure.
He reversed CTE. Has anyone else done that? Should he be calling Guinness?
Right.
I mean, seriously, he reversed CTE with holistic shit.
Yes. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it really is impressive. Like I said, I can't sit here and tell you if I knew that there was anybody else.
Yeah. I mean, with a holistic, I mean, Jesus Christ, what kind of witch doctor did you go to? Talk to us, please, Daniel Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, Edge, though, did leave. And remember, Edge had the surgery where they, the one where they slide your throat over and do it on your neck, but he's back in the main event, having matches, not slowing down. I mean, again, when Daniel Bryan came back, we were like, yeah, he's probably got a new style. He's probably going to work more of a power style for his size. And no, he came back and he's the craziest son of a bitch he was.
Sure.
So
I think with her, though, it's just a little bit different because she has already been here. Like, she had to step away before, and then she fought to get back. And she came back and she, like, almost immediately got injured again. So it's like it's a little different. It's the same thing, but it's also there's a little bit of a different wrinkle to it.
There is. And again, I would not mind seeing Paige back. Like I said, she looks like she's in a much better place than honestly, than she ever has been.
Sure. I mean, she had to deal with some shit. Like, I feel for her.
She did, and and this little Twitch stream seems like it's a very good outlet for her. So good for her. She's still got it and making money. So good for her, man. But all right, I guess we got two little things now. Again, this isn't something we're going to take a ton of fucking time to go over here. Let's start with this one. The WWE Hall of Fame, we all know they have the little celebrity wing they always do each year. And this year, what? Yeah, they do. Smart.
I agreed, yeah.
Uh-huh. You know who they're putting in this year?
Of course I do.
It is
none other than old Captain Kirk himself.
There you go. 90-year-old William Shatner. Actually, wait a minute. He was how old is William Shatner right now?
I mean, I wouldn't fight you on 90. I'm going to go ahead and look up on the old.
I'm hitting it too. He's 90 right now. He's 90
1931, March 1931.
90 years old. Now listen, you want to bitch, you want to complain. Stop. Just stop. He did deliver the induction speech for Lawler. He's made a bunch of appearances over for WWE. So what the hell? Drew Carey is in. It's the celebrity wing. No panties in any bunches here.
Not for me, at least. I mean, I really kind of don't take their Hall of Fame seriously anyway. If
exactly.
I'm being honest. Because, I mean, it's just a matter of, we've talked about this before, and I'm sure we'll be talking about this again, is that there's sort of no real criteria of, like, they don't establish who votes for them and who doesn't. They don't establish how long you need to be, like, retired. Like, for NFL, I think you have to be retired for, like, 7 years, 8 years or something. But, like, there is a clear-cut criteria, whatever it is. I'm not remembering it perfectly, but there's a voting committee. You have to be retired for so many years. You know, you have to make such an impact and all this kind of shit. Where with them, it's like every year they need a handful of people, one of which has to be a celebrity, and then say probably about 5 wrestlers or so, give or take, maybe add a couple more. So like the fact that there's not like 5 new wrestlers coming in every year means eventually pretty much everybody's going to get in. It's a numbers game.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, listen, it's a scripted show. This is like if Law and Order had their own fucking, awards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to do a Law and Order awards on a scripted show. Why? Why? This is like, I mean, there's no reason to bitch about any of this. No reason. Which leads us into our last little thing that we're going to go ahead and get into here, which is Titus O'Neil is rumored, keyword, to receive this year's Warrior Award. A lot of people complaining that it's not Shad Gaspard. A lot of people were lobbying for Shad Gaspard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say I disagree that it shouldn't be. But if you don't think that Titus O'Neil will get up there, again, this guy might not... If this happens, if they have not confirmed this yet, if this happens, I've said before, he may not be the greatest wrestler. I don't care for him as a wrestler. I think he's actually very dangerous as a wrestler, but he is an ambassador for this company. He is a people person. People love this guy. They gravitate towards him. He is an incredible ambassador for WWE. So if they do give him the Warrior Award, I get it. I really do. But if you don't think he's going to get up there and mention Shad Gaspard, if you don't think he's going to, you're crazy. He would probably I could see him dedicating this award to Shad Gaspard.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, that's potentially that could happen.
Yeah.
I mean, if like you were to make me choose, I probably would have given it to Shad, obviously. But
right,
I think, and I mean, I hate to say it, I hate to be like as cynical, but like you said, and you said in a more positive way, like he's more valuable to them right now. Unfortunately, right. He's like, well, maybe not so much, unfortunately, but he is their, like you said, brand ambassador. He's there for all of the charity stuff, all like Special Olympics and all the community outreach stuff that they do. And I mean, it is what it is. It's like that award being like, it's been so like kind of transmogrified from what it was supposed to be originally anyway,
Well, yeah.
But it's just, it doesn't surprise me necessarily that they're giving him the award. And it's not so much that he even necessarily doesn't deserve it either. I think the only real argument or case that you can make is just that you can give it to him next year, or you give it to him at any point. But I feel like, obviously the thing would have been probably the most sense would have been just to go ahead and give it to Shad now. But hey, whatever, it is what it is.
I know, but again, you're, and like we've been both saying that Shad is not Shad. Titus O'Neil is a great ambassador for the company, and again, just I don't. He's not a great wrestler. He's just not. Right. He's just not. But they found a way to use him. Not use him. Horrible way to put that. They found a way to make him an asset, and it's obviously a way he loves. Like I said, everyone seems to gravitate towards him. He seems like a very likable person.
Sure.
And even in those old NXT shows where they were the old Tough Enoughs, I guess, when they were doing in the middle of SmackDowns with him on it, he cut goofy promos, but he just seemed like a good guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't think it has anything.
Which is why
any potential backlash has anything to really do with people not liking him or his character or anything.
Yeah. What was it? If you want to make it a win, make it a win.
Yes, make it away.
You can,
and then it's him carrying the keg and
fall on his ass while carrying the keg. Then he fell down another time when coming down to the Rumble, right?
Yeah, the greatest Royal Rumble ever, or whatever the fuck it was supposed to be called in Saudi Arabia.
You know what though? He always got up smiling, and you know that brings me back to something that I know this may be a very old and weird little thing that Titus reminds me of, but do you know the diver Greg Louganis, the Olympic diver?
Yeah, kind of.
Way back in the 80s, he did a dive and he hit his head. And they cleaned him up. He had stitches in his fucking head, but they put staples in at that time. But he had stitches or staples in his head, got back up and did the dive. And they brought him down afterwards, and he said, my dad always taught me, no matter what happens, if you smile, you're going to get through it. You will get through it. So just always reminds me of, what Titus always got up smiling, laughing, and just kept fucking pushing through it. And like I said, that he may not be the greatest wrestler. They may not have him as a wrestler. If, once again, it's rumored, it hasn't been confirmed, if he does end up getting that award, I completely understand why they would give it to him. Again, he does all those charities. He's out there. He kind of took over the Miz role because Miz used to do all that shit, which is why I always called Miz a workhorse.
Sure.
Miz was doing all that charity stuff, all the stuff that Titus O'Neil is doing, and he's kind of taking it over. So, again, if that goes to him, I'm fine with it. And again, I could see him dedicating it or at least definitely mentioning Shad Gaspard as being not nominated, but lobbied for. That's the word I'm looking for. They don't have nominations. They should.
Right. Yeah, I'll say two things about this, though, just kind of real quick here. It's just a reminder that, the original intent of the award, like I had mentioned, has been just so sort of lost in translation or changed throughout the years that really, honestly, at this point, all it is just a reward for whatever will give them, the best publicity. I mean, it's kind of, there's a little bit of disingenuousness to it anyway. But I will also say the second thing is that it might have also looked a little bit weird having, I don't know what the Hall of Fame ceremony or whatever is going to look like. I'm assuming speeches are going to be involved. But it would look a little bit weird if you, brought Chad's wife out there and just, had her talk about how great the company is. It's that would have been a little awkward and a little kind of uncomfortable, too. So, maybe this isn't such a terrible thing.
It might also be a little early for her to pick that scab. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Which is barely scabbed over at this point, which is I know it's kind of a crass way to say it, this whole thing, but.
Oh, no, I mean, for sure. It's obviously still fresh, and it's going to be fresh in her mind for a very long time.
Right. So maybe it's too. I mean, maybe next year it could still happen. But again, I saw a lot of people. Well, Titus doesn't deserve it. First of all, it's not confirmed by WWE, so it could be complete bullshit. And secondly, I see where they could do it, and I wouldn't have a problem with it, and I don't think anybody should. So, all right. You know what? Before we go. Back to what you said about the award being completely just lost in translation. You're right, it was, because we've said before, the Warrior wanted that award to be for people backstage that didn't get noticed, cameramen, producers, so on and so forth.
I'll even a Jim Johnston that makes the theme song, which we're used to, not now.
They ousted his ass. Fuck him.
Sure.
Fuck him. Fuck him, dude. Come on. He's gone. Fuck that guy. It's time to start blaming shit on him. That's what you do when people leave, Smark. You blame everything on the guy that just got fired.
The fucking rise and fall of Jim Johnson. Do you know how much cocaine this guy did? Just all the time, the cocaine.
Hulk Hogan was going to break his legs once because he didn't want to do the job right.
Always hated my theme song.
Oh, no, Vince, you want me to break his legs? No, don't go that far. Oh, no. Oh, God. Oh, I'm glad we did get to one at least review that, because that was a good one to review.
Mm-hmm.
That was. So anyway, I've got nothing else, man. We spent enough time on everything here.
There you go. All right.
Well, then let's go ahead and end this Friday, and I'll pull the plugs back up, and we can go ahead and knock them out while the usual Take Your Drunken Ass Home is playing in the background. And let's go ahead and hit it high marks once again. Cheeseman, Mojo, Gee Whiz. Where are you going to listen to them, you might say? Oh, where can I find them? You know where? Mixer.com/Metal Mitt Network. That's right, 2 T's in Mitt. Type it in. You'll get them right there. When? Sundays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Definitely go check them out. And, of course, Bobby Anthem, Bobby Blades. Subscribe to the Inhuman Experience. You definitely want to be subscribed to the Inhumans when they come on back. Find them on all the usual podcast platforms out there. Subscribe. He doesn't want it. Everything Unscripted Wrestling Podcast. You can find them on all the usual podcast platforms and Blog Talk Radio. You can find them over there. Just start typing it in on Blog Talk. It'll complete it for you. And Steve Milan sharing the show. Much appreciated, sir. Find him over there talking about them movie things over there on Letterboxd, boxd.com/Stephen Milan, double the L's when you're talking about them. Or typing that in. Excuse me. And, of course, always find us. Spreaker, Facebook, Twitter, Stitcher, iHeart, Spotify, Google, Anchor, YouTube. Go for it, Mark.
Yes, sir. I'm Daisy. The Podcast Network right here on this old mixing machine. Be sure to check out the Cheese on Sports with the Cheese Man, Cheese Master ceremonies himself. Also, Sundays, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time, the only time zone that matters. Be sure to check out the Mojo City Machine, because with Mojo in your head. And last, never, ever least, you want to check out our friends at the Planet Rumble. It's a Planet Rack on Tour podcast with Bobby Anthem, Papa Dave, Sincere, Yakimaski, all 16 episodes are available for you to listen at your leisure and your pleasure.
Ooh, leisure and pleasure. Ooh, shit. All right. And don't forget, you guys can always join our chat room right here, mixer.com/dirtsheetdudes. You can also follow us on here so you'll know when we go live and be able to join the chat room. And there you go. Nothing else. Everyone who's going to listen live, appreciate you guys. Everyone who's going to download, appreciate all you too. Smark, you are greatly appreciated, sir. And you know what? Sacha Baron Corbin, the hardcore, die-hard. Love you, buddy. All right. On that note, Wednesday. See you.
Adios.
Time to take your drunken ass home. It's all right.